Welcome in to the Week 17 edition of Taking Sides. I'm your host, Al Walsh. Find me on Twitter there at 14a.walsh. Joined alongside, as always, Pauly Parlays. You find him at Game Day Facts there on Twitter. And we got a special guest today. DK is in the building, one of the most loyal fans of the Taking Sides podcast. You can find him as well on Twitter at DKMoney777. So, DK, how did you come to be on this show today? Does Pauly have some sort of like blackmail advice against you, or you came here on your own will?
It's hold on. It's Taking Sides Fan Appreciation Week, which is why this is happening.
How silly of me. I forgot that we gave out the t-shirts. My bad.
Yeah, so instead of getting a t-shirt, I was asked if I just could come on the show and help you guys out. Appreciate the invite from both of you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Paul, how are you doing here? Are you very sad that the end of Hanukkah has come?
I'm doing great. I remain.
No, that was not a J joke. I just know that you love Hanukkah so much.
Well, sadly, this year I only got one present instead of 8.
In 8 days?
I went to my parents' house for the first day. They gave me a single long sleeve shirt. That's great, and I wear it. Like, it's one of those, like, I could wear it out, but it's really like a sleep shirt. You know what I'm saying?
It's a nice shirt.
Yeah, it's a nice shirt. But that's the only gift I got in 8 days. And, I think my parents are just slacking, like this whole work from home thing. I just don't think they knew what to get me. So they got me a shirt.
I look at it in another way. They're clearly looking to put you up for adoption.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. How was your Christmas? Oh my God, I totally forgot.
Well, I got presents on both days of Christmas, so I don't want to make you feel bad or anything. But I got a cast iron pan that if any intruder comes into my house, he will be met with. So I'm very excited about that. Got some nice shaving gear. Gotta maintain the beard.
Nice.
Other than that, just nice to spend time with the fam.
Great to hear. You got is it like one of the mail order shaving kits? Real quick.
No. This comes
because there's like that famous one. It's like some dude's name.
I actually won it in White Elephant. Do you guys play White Elephant?
I've done that before, of course.
Yeah,
wait, so that's the one where you steal from each other?
Yeah.
What was your original gift? Tell us the story. How'd you get to the shaving kit?
So I had number 16 out of 17. So I could have stolen. I could have went for the Chick-fil-A gift card.
Yeah.
I could have went for the Cracker Barrel gift card. But no, I saw it immediately. And I think, we can use this for years ahead. But the bigger the prize, the shittier, or the bigger like the size of what you think you're getting, the shittier the prize is.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I had 2 bags to choose from, and I went with the smaller one and, nailed it. But the other thing is, too, if my little, 14-year-old cousin who's a girl got the shaving kit, I was definitely going to trade her whatever I had for it. Like, I wasn't.
That's nice of you.
She was not going to give it to her boyfriend. Definitely not.
Oh, so you were going to. There were ulterior motives as to why you ended up with the shave kit.
No. I picked it. I'm just saying, had that have happened. And my mom was actually the last one. So, again, she doesn't need the shave kit. She's a woman.
Fair. What did she steal? Like, because that's like the whammy. She can have whatever she wants.
My little cousin got one of these, graters for vegetables. And, 10-year-olds are not vegetable people. So, he made sure that he did that. My mom, on the other hand, big vegetable person. Yeah.
So, even though you took the shave kit,
right,
what was like the best thing that somebody put into the pot?
There was a knife set that a lot of people were after. It got traded probably 5 times.
Oh, wow.
And then my uncle, whose house it is, was like, all right, we are cutting the trades on the knives. Like, Aunt Judy got the knives, and that's it. And that's the end of the story. Because I tell you what, somebody might have pulled out one of those knives, and it might have been a dicey situation down there in Freehold.
Nice. Great to hear. I'm happy that you
happy holidays.
That you received a wonderful gift. Any New Year's plans before we get started on week 17?
I
should,
don't.
Should we just keep talking and make it like DK Money's not here? I think that's what we should do.
DK, we always include DK. Especially on Fan Appreciation Week here at Taking Sides. No big plan. My friend usually has a bunch of people over, and I go over there. So probably going to wind up doing that. If he doesn't do that, then I'm probably just going to sit home and play some PlayStation or something. Hang out with George.
If you want to come out to Long Island, if you want to go to the Berkshires, you can join DK Money.
No, I'm all good. I'm not going to Long Island.
I'm gonna invite you here every other show until you finally crack.
I will tell you, I do like the LIRR. I do because you can brown bag it on there.
We have good trains. Like that's the positive.
You have great trains. DK, hold up. What were you saying? Sorry.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve, you can't do the brown bag on LIRR.
That's true.
Really?
They'll give you a ticket on New Year's.
Yep.
Fuck that.
It's literally the only day.
Yep.
Because they don't want, you to cause a ruckus.
But when the Mets are playing the Cincinnati Reds on a fucking Tuesday night, that's okay to brown bag it on that night, right?
Go ahead, yeah.
That's ridiculous. Correct. The rules make no sense.
They got people sleeping in Penn Station. You're telling me I can't get a brown bag on an LIRR heading out to West Side? Come on, man.
Would you like to challenge the system on your New Year's Eve?
Yes, I would. I would actually. You know what?
I'll just send us a picture of the ticket.
That's probably how you get me out to Long Island. That's the only way.
You call me, you'll be like, dude, you were my one phone call.
I'll send the picture of the 40 ounce, and I'll be like, Paul, I'm on the way.
Okay, sounds great.
All right. I guess we're going to talk about some football earlier than we did last week. Paul and I went 40 minutes about life last week before we even mentioned one football game.
But that was great. I loved it. Honestly, I hit up a couple of the references and things we talked about, and a couple of the guys were like, I listened to the whole show. And I was like, that's the point.
Yeah. People like pre-Christmas talk. I've noticed that. They love it. But once you get to Christmas, no more. No more.
Okay, so since we're not going to get to football, I said this to DK earlier. I feel like since the whole COVID work from home happened,
I've gotten so lazy.
No, that too. But it's hard for me to get hyped for New Year's. I just feel like it's another week and there happens to be a day off. You know what I'm saying? I can't.
You have to see people, yeah.
But I'm not I feel like my life is the same exact cycle every week and nothing is different. And
New year, new Paul. New year, new Paul.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's ask DK, since you're a married guy. We're talking about this 10 plus years. Guy's been in marriage. God bless him.
Been in marriage.
What do married people do on New Year's Eve?
I'm actually going to be skiing down a mountain.
Of course you are, DK. Nice.
11 o'clock at night on New Year's Eve with a red lantern and that could be pretty cool with my son, and that's what we do. I'm with my kids.
Give the boys a shout. They'll get a kick out of it.
Shout out Jared, Ryan, and Bradley.
You know you're allowed to shout out your wife too, right?
Oh yeah, her too. Yeah.
But yeah, no, looking forward to it. It's not going to be cold. It'll be a little warmer than it's been around here, so should be a fun time.
So hold on, where does this skiing trip take place?
Jiminy Peak. It's in Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I did a little time in New Bedford. Not like jail time. I lived there.
That's fucking awesome.
Now, if they caught me, I might have done some jail time, but
I try not to curse, but that was that just got me right there.
Oh goodness. All right. Let's do football. We'll mingle in the other shit as we get along. Cowboys Titans are going to kick off the week here on Thursday night. As we looked at the line, we're seeing Dallas favored by upwards of 11, all the way up to 12.5 on this one. No Ryan Tannehill, no Derrick Henry in this one for the Titans. Let's start off with DK this week, Paul. We hear enough from you every week. But DK, how do you feel about this game leading off the week?
Honestly, I think Dallas is going to be, crushing them, running all over the place with Zeke and Pollard, and just going to be, because they want to win. They want to secure their seed, and the Titans really have nothing to play for. I believe they have, something to play for next week against Jacksonville, and really are going to rest their guys and get ready for that. So I really think.
That's a great point that you bring up too, because we'll just, we'll get into the Jacksonville game first off the 1 o'clocks, but it's an interesting scenario. Paul, are you familiar with the standings here and what's not at stake this week?
Yeah, so nothing, neither the Jags nor the Titans game matters in any way this week, which is crazy.
How is this possible?
Whoever wins the game next week wins the division. That's it.
No.
That's it.
Yeah, because Jacksonville won the first meeting between.
It's crazy that's all it is. When I opened up my app and looked at all the lines this week, the one that jumped out at me was Jags -4. It's now up to 4.5. But and then then you look a little further into it and you realize, I feel like that line's got to be 6. It's not. And I think the reason is because the game doesn't matter and we don't know what they're in for. The Titans are just waving the white flag. They're resting Derrick Henry. Tannehill's done for the year, so it's going to be Malik Willis the rest of the way. But they're literally not playing 7 starters. So the Cowboys are going to win this game. Even when it was 10 and Derrick Henry was playing, my initial thought was tease the Cowboys. At this point, I'm just playing a couple of player props, which are CeeDee Lamb's over. I've seen him at 67.5 in a couple places. And I really like Zeke's over because DK mentioned Tony Pollard, who traveled to Nashville but might not play. So I'm looking for overs and an anytime touchdown with Zeke.
Yeah, it's a very interesting matchup here. I kind of want to bring in the AFC playoff picture after we talk about Jacksonville, Houston this week, because it's, I'm curious to see who you guys would like to see in that spot. And of course, or in that final playoff spot, Tua has the concussion, for the last 2 games. We don't necessarily know how that's going to work with the Dolphins. And then you have this grouping of teams like, the Patriots, the Jets, the Titans, the Steelers, all there at 7 and 8, which could still potentially make the playoffs. So we'll get to that here in a little bit. But yeah, I think also too, I'm probably going to go Dallas in this one. I don't see any way. I mean, Tennessee's offense when they are healthy is really just run Derrick Henry forward and see how many yards he can get. Ryan Tannehill has his brief moments of I don't even want to say greatness, but, mobility where he can get outside the pocket and make some plays. I just don't see that happening. Malik Willis, man, he looks like a deer in the headlights right now. At this point of his NFL career. I took the Texans last week against the Titans, so that was a beautiful win there for me last week. But, I think Dallas has a lot of momentum now coming off that win with Philadelphia. Not a good situation here for the Titans. But I will say, if you're a Titans fan, at least you could walk a couple blocks left and you go to downtown and you get hammered and watch country music all night. So
I've never been to Nashville. I've heard it's a great town. I have to visit.
DK, you ever been to Nashville?
I have. I was there for my brother's bachelor party. It was a great time. I agree.
Oh, my God. Unbelievable. I was there for SEC championship, Burrow and LSU against Georgia.
Yo, that's awesome.
And we went to a Georgia bar, and Georgia lost by 34. So, the atmosphere was good at the start, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that must have been cool.
All right, let's get into the Sunday slate, which we just alluded to a little bit ago. Jaguars -4 here going into Houston. And this is a very interesting matchup because Houston has dominated here in the last few. Houston looking like world beaters right now. Last few weeks, who the hell did they beat before KC? Well, I know they played KC tough.
Wait, whoa. Who are you saying is winning games?
Houston.
The Texans are winning game, 2 wins.
Well, Houston played Dallas tough. They played KC tough. Then they go into Nashville and win outright. I'm just saying, this is a team on the rise right now.
before Kansas, was it the Patriots they hung with?
It was
It was
Dallas.
the Cowboys.
Yeah. Yeah, I caught myself quick on that one. But
Look, I'll just go from their bye week.
yeah.
Lost at the Raiders, lost at the Titans, lost at home against the Titans, lost at home against the Eagles, lost at the Giants, lost at home against the Commanders, got killed at the Dolphins. The Browns somehow scored 27 points and dominated them. Then you had at the Cowboys, home against the Chiefs, and then somehow they beat the Titans last week.
Do you see what Paul did there? He extended the range of data to make his point better.
I just don't see it. I
that
get
shit
it.
all the
I
time.
get it
I
that
do it
you're
all.
like that you won money off them last week, but that should have nothing to do with this week.
But look at the last 3 teams that they played. Like, if they didn't make a bonehead decision against Dallas, they probably would have won that game outright. They took Kansas City to overtime, and then they go into Nashville, which was like 25 degrees with a feel of 5, and they go in and win outright.
They won in Nashville because
even
Malik
with
Willis
the hour
sucks.
delay, but still,
That might have helped them. That might have helped.
How?
I agree. It might have helped them. I agree.
How would it help them?
Because the Titans were ready to go and everything, and then they had an hour to just sit around and took them out of their routine, and Houston pounced on it.
If I were a Titan fan, I'd hang out in downtown until the 4th quarter, and if the game was good, then I'd be like, all right, then I'll go to the stadium.
What does that have to do with the player?
Honky tonk it up. Oh, listen, crowd is big. Crowd is huge.
If Ryan Tannehill played in that game, the Titans win by 10.
I don't know.
I agree.
Maybe they win by 4.
Look at this guy backing me up. I love it.
Maybe they win by 4, and I still win my bet. I took plus 4.
Fair, that's fine.
Yeah.
But same topic. My best bet of the week is the Jags. I think that they're not going to be just looking to next week. I think that their offense is good enough where I just don't think the Texans and this 2-quarterback Jeff Driscoll, Davis Mills scenario can keep up with the Jags. Cam Robinson is not playing this week, which could affect the line a bit, but not the betting line, the offensive line. But outside of that, I just think the Jags are too well coached and they're a team on the rise. They're going to go into next week with momentum versus putting up a stinker this week against the Texans.
And we did have some pretty good looks at the Jags the last couple of weeks because they played that game against Dallas, which was on most people's TVs that week. They had the Sunday or the Thursday night game there against the Jets, and they dominated that game start to finish without a doubt. And now we got this here coming up against the Texans. Listen, I want to believe that the Jags are going to steamroll them, and they owe one to the Texans because, like I said, Texans have dominated this matchup. They even won earlier this year, 13-6. But I feel like this is a much different Jags team watching them from earlier in the season. Like, now they're running the football at like 7 yards a clip on first down. And that's how you get yourself into good positions. They're getting those timely turnovers like they got against Dallas. So these are all good things. And I know you said it a couple of weeks ago. Like, think about the Jags as the division winner. And it looks like they're just an absolute shoo-in right now. So good for
Whenever
that.
you say that, they'll lose to the Titans next week.
Yeah, exactly.
That's obviously what's going to happen. But I care about this week. I care that I have a bet on them already this week. And I also the Texans are going to want to lock up the first pick in the draft. Are they not?
You would think.
Like I'm not about tanking, but in the same breath, I feel like that's what they did when they benched Davis Mills and they're like, oh, we're playing 2 quarterbacks just to see what we have.
Still going to try though. They're trying to get incentives and they're trying to, if some contracts are expiring, they're going to try to, play for next year to show teams what they can do. So I don't think that the players are all about tanking.
DK with a great point there too, because I feel like if you can get your hands on some good literature this week about which guys are going for contract incentives, like there's some quarterbacks out there that will, I know Aaron Rodgers, I want to say maybe like 2 years ago, they had something with Devontae Adams and he spoke openly about trying him to get the football so that he can get his contract incentives. So I'm sure it's not something that's lost on a lot of teams out there.
There's a famous Gronk video, his last season with the Bucks. You don't remember this?
I don't.
Where he like caught a touchdown or caught like X passes.
Oh,
And
yes,
he
yes,
goes
yes.
to
Yeah,
Tom,
yeah,
and he
yeah.
goes,
Yep,
Tom, I need one more.
Yeah,
And
you're
he
right.
literally
Yeah.
threw the ball to him, and then he didn't play the rest of the game.
You're right. I blanked out there for
Yeah.
a minute.
It
That
was like $1
happened.
million incentive, like one more catch. That's insane.
But I think that sort of scenario is probably better for teams that have veteran quarterbacks who are probably aware of that. Like a guy like a Brady or Rodgers or like Mahomes, even, right? Like he can get the ball to anybody in any situation. So I would take a look at that. If you're doing prop bets this weekend.
Yeah, I mean the other one just to keep an eye out on it's the 4:00 slate. We'll get there when we get there. But Justin Jefferson is vying for the most receiving yards in a season. He's going to want to pass Calvin, whether it's this week or next week.
What do you think about him? So he's fifth right now in the MVP race. What do you think about him there?
I think he's going to win Offensive Player of the Year, not the MVP. Like that's the long and the short of it. Is a wide receiver is never going to win the MVP, especially on a team that everyone says stinks.
Yeah, and as a fantasy owner, I know that he struggled a lot at the beginning of the year with touchdowns, but he's starting to come around to form right now, and his numbers are just absolutely ridiculous. Also, Kelsey, compared to other tight ends in the league this year, just absolutely clobbering the competition. George Kittle, which, went against me in fantasy last week, he's making a case here. Last couple of weeks, dude has been absolutely dominant.
So, okay, so you bring up Kittle. It's like the perfect scenario.
I am not saying that he should win MVP.
No. I'm just saying it's like it's a fantasy thing. You just turned on the fantasy light bulb for me, which is I hate it how you can have a full season. Kittle was nothing all season. And then you happen to have him on your team.
Yep.
And, Cam Akers is the perfect example. Like Cam Akers was horrible.
Yeah.
But then pops up and has the week of his life in the week that you need him to be huge, where there has to be a way to fix head-to-head fantasy because those guys shouldn't be the deciding factors. And then we have this week where we have 3 starting quarterbacks all getting benched. You have, Derrick Henry's just not playing. There has to be a better way to crown fantasy champions than like me picking up. I don't even know. Like
Devonta Foreman.
He's on every team at this point. Like who? Like a couple of years ago, I'm forgetting who it was, but there was some guy that I'm like, Boston Scott winning championships for people. Like that just shouldn't happen. It stinks. I don't like it.
You got to keep your fab. What do you think, DK? Should there be? Me and Paul actually talked about this last week. I used to run a fantasy league where it was no head-to-head matchups. It was if you had the 6 highest points throughout the week, you got to win. And if you were in the bottom 6, you got a loss. What do you think about that format?
That's what it should be. I love that format because that's the actual 6 best teams of the week.
Yes.
And then you go based on points. I agree with that. Unfortunately, with what Paul was saying, how certain players are not going to play because of playoff implications for certain teams. I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles. It's you draft Derrick Henry, and now you got to find someone else to lead your team because they're going to bench him because they don't want him to get hurt this week. But there's really nothing else you could do about that, unless they want the NFL to start finding teams for benching their star players like the NBA does. But that's not going to happen. So for fantasy,
yeah, and like if you guys play NBA fantasy too, right? Like there's a lot of teams that just kind of mail it in there at the stretch. So, I don't know if you got Pablo Wanchero or something like that, right? Heading into your fantasy finals, and the Magic decide that they kind of want to, just limit his action going into the final few weeks, you're screwed. Also, too, let's not forget about fantasy football. Weather played a big factor this weekend, too. You had a lot of teams that were playing in, I don't know, like 20-degree weather or whatever it is. That matters, right? And one year I had Matthew Stafford, and that game against Philly, remember, it was like a snow blizzard or whatever. Like I had no choice but to play him at quarterback that week in a playoff matchup. But I mean, this is what we live off, though.
I there has to be a better way. Like you bring up fantasy basketball, I stopped playing because it got to the point where I was like, half my team's just not playing tonight. This isn't fun.
Yeah. I will tell you though, with the new rules to baseball, with getting more teams in the playoffs, that has been a lot more fun down the stretch than in previous years because, again, too, like you could pick up that late call up in December who's going to swipe like 10 bases because nobody knows shit about him, and that's how you win your fantasy league. But, there's tricks to everything, I guess.
Yeah, I hear you. I just look. This is also me being sour grapes. Like I'm not in. I'm not in my fantasy finals. I'm just like I'm watching from a distance, noticing these things, and like Jarrett Stidham is going to be in fantasy lineups this week in 2 quarterback leagues. That's absurd.
I wanted to talk about the AFC playoff picture because
Go ahead.
So the first, the 6 teams are in: Bills, Chiefs, Bengals, whoever wins the AFC South, and then the Ravens and the Chargers are in. However, you've got the Dolphins, the Jets, the Titans, the Steelers, all at 7 and 8, and then the Raiders still have a chance at 6 and 9. Do you guys have a preference of who you'd like to see get that last spot?
DK, I'll let you go first. I have an easy answer.
I mean, being in New York, it would be nice to see the Jets get that last spot. But honestly, if Tua can play, I think the Dolphins can get into that last spot. I mean, I think they have the players and personnel to get there, and if they all mesh together at the same time, they can win these final 2 games and get that last spot.
I'm with you there. Like I think the Dolphins are the hot, fun answer because you have Waddle, you have Tyreek, you have Mike McDaniel, this the mad scientist head coach.
You could also get Tyreek back to Kansas City if it all.
Well, that would be the matchup, which would be great.
Yeah.
But the team I'm rooting for is the Steelers. Mike Tomlin has done an unbelievable job coaching there. When TJ Watt is in that lineup, the Steelers are 6 and 2. So that defense is so good. Kenny Pickett is a pretty good quarterback. He does just enough.
I like him.
I really like him. I got to be honest. George Pickens looks great. Deontay Johnson, I don't know about that guy. He just he doesn't have a touchdown still as fast.
Sap, my God.
Maybe he'll finally get one soon.
But that's the team that even if the Steelers got in the playoffs, I think they could win a game. Where if the Dolphins get in, they're just in. They're going to lose. It might be a fun game. I agree. The Pats are boring. We don't want that. The Jets, sure, for the New York angle. I just don't see it. And then who's left? The Raiders stopped trying.
The Titans or the Jags, depending on what they do.
I'd rather see Trevor Lawrence and the Jags than Malik Willis because Tannehill's not. They said Tannehill might be back, but we saw them with Tannehill get Tannehill 3 picks, and then the Bengals became the Bengals.
I tell you what, I would love to see. So earlier this season, the Jaguars went to Kansas City, and I forget the safety, but he put 2 absolutely brutal hits. One on Juju Smith-Schuster, and the other, I think it was it wasn't Tony. He didn't play that day. I don't know. One of their safeties just absolutely decimated the KC receiving corps. So I would like to see that matchup at some point in the playoffs if we get there.
But I don't think that could happen, right? Because if the Jags win the division, they get the 4 seed, right?
Yes, they would, but it could be like a second round matchup.
So let's hypothetically say the Jags win the division. So Jags are 4. Are the Ravens locked in at 5?
They have a 1-game lead on the Chargers, and it looks like whatever. If they win out, they should hold that 5.
But if the Steelers get in, then they don't win out because that's the Sunday Night Football game this week.
I think they just need 1 win. I think the Ravens just need 1 win.
So let's just be hypothetical. Let's play 4-5. If it's Ravens at Jags with Lamar back, what's the line? Who do you take? I have a number in my head. But Al, what do you think?
We just saw the matchup, right? We saw it a couple of weeks ago, and Lamar was playing quarterback, and I believe the Ravens were 4-point favorites.
I was going to say 3.5 because it'll be in Jacksonville this time, though.
So that was the line a couple weeks ago. I could probably go back here and look, but I would probably bring that down to like -2 in favor of the Ravens.
I'd be all over the Ravens as long as the thing is, if Lamar doesn't play until that game, it's tricky. It really is. If he plays in
Well, he's going to play this week, no?
That's why I'm waiting to bet that game because we don't know Lamar's status.
God, we just saw. Hold on, we just saw this matchup with the Bills. Or I'm sorry, the Ravens. Yeah, all right. So
Ravens played the Jags. I don't remember this.
Week 12. It was at Jacksonville, and remember the Jags. I think they went for it for 2 at the very end, and they got the conversion. The Ravens were 3-point. They opened as 4-point favorites. They closed as 3-point favorites.
I think it would be the same. It's just everything's pending Lamar Jackson. Like that Ravens team is his team. You know, with Huntley, they're nobodies. With Lamar, they could go on a run.
Do you think they re-sign him at the end of the season?
I don't see any other. Like, there's no other option. What are they going to do?
They definitely do.
They could draft a new one if they feel
then,
like it.
Okay, where would Lamar go? Where do you want to see him? If
The
he's
Jets?
not with the Ravens.
Giants.
The Jets?
Giants.
Nah, Daniel Jones is going to be back with the Giants. I think there's no way around that.
Who somebody claimed that the other day. I guess Sean Payton wants to go wherever Lamar goes. Like if he winds up, I think Dallas might fall on their face, and Dallas has been itching for Sean Payton, but that would be an interesting combo there with Lamar and Sean Payton.
If they're tied together, they could work it out. Like literally, There's ways for them to figure out, okay, there's this much cap, let's go there. But that's nuts. Could you imagine?
Hey, Al Pacino did it with Jamie Foxx in Any Given Sunday.
Wait, what?
Any Given Sunday, the movie?
Yeah.
At the end, he took Jamie Foxx as his quarterback and went to the expansion New Mexico franchise.
I don't remember that.
It was the very final scene.
I just remember the speech. That's all I get from him.
He announces his retirement, and then he's like, I am retiring. But also, I'm taking the new job with the New Mexico team, and I'm bringing Willie Beeman. That was his name.
Nice.
I am bringing Willie Beeman with me as my starting quarterback. So
nice. That's
that
cool.
was pretty sweet. All right, rest of the Week 17 slate. Got a lot to get to here. Let's go with your Giants, Pauly. Hosting the Colts. Favored by 5. You can get Colts +6 elsewhere if you feel that way. Pretty low total here, sitting about 39. Money line -210 for the Giants, +200 for the Colts. How you feeling about your boys this week?
Whenever I like the Giants, we have to get a little iffy because I have trouble reading them. But the Giants are my second most favorite pick of the week after the Jaguars. The Colts kind of had that dead cat bounce week, their first week with Jeff Saturday coaching. I believe they beat the Raiders, right? They've lost 4 games since then. They're not good. Nick Foles played last week, and it was disgusting. I just think the Giants are a pretty good team where the Colts just won't be able to keep up. Daniel Jones is playing good enough football, but it's really that defense that has stepped up. Kayvon Thibodeau looks all world, and I think that's the difference here. I think is Foles playing again this week, but in the end, I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
I like the Giants. I like the Giants minus the points to stick in the 6th spot in the playoffs and get some momentum going into the playoffs.
So before we get to DK here, I just want to point out the Giants have 8. They're 8-6-1. You've got the Commanders at 7-7-1. Behind them, Seattle, who has beaten the Giants, Detroit, who has beaten the Lions. I don't know this for sure, but it seems like a Giants win essentially cements them into the playoffs. Like barring some other, wild shit going on this weekend.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be at the home at MetLife Stadium. They got the home crowd behind them, and it's going to be a nice, almost 60-degree sunny day. And I think that the Giants do make the playoffs, and 5.5. They should win. By 7 to 10 points.
I'll take a nice New Year's sunny day. Maybe tan out a little bit in the backyard. Work on that complexion a little bit.
Go to the game. Go to the game, Al.
No,
Hey, you're right
go
there.
to the game.
You
What the-
you practically live at the Meadowlands.
Why would I go to the game when I can watch like 10 at the same time? That's silly.
You get to see the Giants clinch a playoff spot.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. I'm not a Giants fan.
Al's a Bucks fan. I don't think you know that.
He did.
No, I told him.
He did.
I pretty much went day by day in my Tampa life to
Yeah.
DK before the show.
That's fun. I like that.
But just going for the atmosphere alone, it's just a great atmosphere to be in.
I
So
don't like. If I'm going to a game, I'm going for the tailgate.
No. To watch a team clinch a playoff spot, to
I guess because in reality, like if I was around, like I would consider going to the game because that's going to be the best moment of their season. Whoever they play in the playoffs, they're going to get killed. It's not going to be a home game.
Probably the nine. Well, hold on. It could be the nine. It's probably going to be the Niners. It could be the Vikings. But I would like to see that Giants-Vikings rematch. Like, Giants played really well on Sunday. Or Saturday, sorry.
Wait, no, the Giants are going to be 6, so that means that they'll get the 3?
The Niners. Like, it looks like the Niners. But the thing is that the 49ers have all the tiebreakers over the Vikings.
Yeah.
They're 5-0 in the division, 9-2 in the conference. So if they win out, if the Vikings slip up against Green Bay, which I know DK has already said he loves the Vikings this week. We'll get to it later in the 4:00 window. But there is a path where the Niners could take the 2 seed.
Right, but that also lines up with my amazing Packers to win the NFC bet.
Yeah. Wow, I thought you were crazy. I thought it was like a waste of my time to look up those odds. But
I was like, dude, no.
I'm curious.
But you had better odds than me. I ended up getting it at 45-1, but still, I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Well, if they win out and make the playoffs, I just start hedging from there.
So if you remember the Packers, the year that they won the Super Bowl with Mike McCarthy, they were the last seed to get in.
They were the 6. Yep, that's right.
And they went on the road and did all that phenomenal shit that they did.
But that stuff happens. The Giants. Hello, like when the Giants are winning the Super Bowls, they were never the 1 seed. The year they were the 1 seed, they lost.
Yeah, that's right. They lost to the Eagles at home. I remember that.
Gross.
Listen, you got 2 Super Bowls in the social media era. Zip it.
You got 1.
I know. I want 2.
What? How?
With peg leg Brady? Who knows? We'll see.
Wait, Lamar to the Bucks.
Yeah. Oh my God. I would get that jersey. I would get the pewter jersey.
And that could fit also. For real. Because I don't think Todd Bowles is the answer. You have to agree with this, right?
I thought it should have been Byron Leftwich as the coach.
I think the thing is he might leave and get a job somewhere else.
I know. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. All right, let's get to another game. It's got major implications. Dolphins at the Patriots. Patriots 2.5-point favorites. If you're a Dolphin fan, you can still get a couple +3s out there. Man, I like the Patriots this week. Obviously, they had that heartbreaker against the Raiders last week. They showed a lot of grit trying to come back against the Bengals. I felt like they had a ton of bad bounces that went their way early in that game against the Bengals, and they got in such a bad hole that they couldn't get out. But again, with Tua, if he's not going to play, if he's a little dinged up, of course, that's a knock against him. I'm already not a Tua guy, but man, 3 interceptions in the 4th quarter on Christmas Day. That's going to sting, folks.
No, he doesn't remember it because he was concussed.
Oh, I love it.
It's the truth. The fact that he was concussed, he threw 3 picks, and now he's not playing because of a concussion. The whole concussion system is flawed.
Of course. I mean, and it has been. It has been for a long time. Yeah, I mean, think about like the 80s, right? Guys probably thought they were just a little woozy and then they went back out there, got their head knocked out. I mean, yeah, it's been this way for a while.
80s, 90s, even early 2000s. It's been,
Oh
Look,
my God.
guys.
Tom Brady got like physically assaulted on a play. Like
Yeah,
the guy.
but also like CTE is for real. Antonio Brown, example most recent.
Oh, yeah.
Since that perfect hit, he's a different human being.
Yeah.
And it's nuts. Like all these guys, like the concussion movie was so well done. Will Smith was amazing in it. But it's a sad story. But you don't really like. You're just like, oh, cool, it's a movie. But it's real.
So think about this, right? Had we have lived in ancient Rome, our football would have been sword fights in the Colosseum where people die, you know? Like that was the alternative.
Oh, okay. I don't know how to react to that.
I'm just saying there were sports where people died. Like in the Colosseum, these soldiers would fight lions, and sometimes they would get eaten by lions.
They weren't soldiers. They were slaves.
Well, they were
didn't
soldiers.
care.
Hold on.
They were worthless humans that could die.
Let me go into my history book real quick. They were soldiers who were captured and then pawned off as slaves to fight in the Colosseum.
Wait, are you only saying it because of the Gladiator movie, or is that real?
No, it's an accurate account.
Also, Gladiator, top 5 all-time movie. Are you guys with me on this?
Absolutely.
Like that's on my list of if you only give me X movies to watch for the rest of my life. 100%. That's on my list.
I never
It's
saw.
a long one.
Wait, what?
Never saw it.
You have never seen Gladiator?
Oh, DK,
Dude,
DK,
I'm making you watch this with me.
leave the podcast now and order it on Amazon Prime.
I'm in shock right now. You've never seen Gladiator?
Nope.
Well, okay, so I have a couple movies like that Al, you're gonna get mad at me because they're
I have plenty.
They're
plenty.
Italian heritage movies. I've never seen Goodfellas.
Neither have I.
What the fuck is wrong with you people?
And what's the other famous mafia movie?
Godfather.
The Godfather.
Never seen Godfather.
I have not seen The Godfather.
So-
either.
Let's all next week we're not doing a show. We're just watching our reactions watching Godfather.
When we go to Atlantic City,
Instead of like watching the football games, we're just gonna be like, we're gonna go in the room and watch Godfather.
We'll put the football games on my laptop and then we'll watch all 3 Godfather.
What we'll do is from the sports book, we'll be like, hey, you see that TV over there that no one's watching? Can you put on The Godfather with subtitles?
Yeah, I've never seen The Goonies.
Oh my, that's on my list.
I knew.
I've seen that.
Wait, okay, so another one on my list. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Shawshank. Have you both seen Shawshank?
Oh, I love Shawshank.
Yeah, great movie.
Okay, so those are 3 of my like 5 forever movies.
Okay.
The other 2, A League of Their Own,
Okay.
and the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with Gene Wilder.
Never saw it.
Wow.
Oh my! So
Oh my
those
God.
are like my 5 movies. If those are the only movies I ever get to watch ever again, I'm fine with that.
The one that shows up for me that I always get the biggest smirk from, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. One of my favorite movies of all. Like I love it so much. I don't even need a script. I could just quote it. Like if it's on TV, like I know what they're gonna say.
Wait, quick time out. Did you know that I quoted that movie before the show?
Today?
When I went and used the facilities, do not go in there.
I didn't see that. I think I already went to start.
I didn't know if you guys picked that up, but that was from Ace Ventura.
Absolutely. Well, I didn't hear it. I would have known.
Also, DK, great Bruce Almighty reference earlier with "That's the way the cookie crumbles." Just want to know that it didn't go over my head. I got it.
Big Jim Carrey guy.
Ace Ventura.
What are your other all-time movies? Because this is so much better than actually picking games.
So one of my favorite movies of all time is Green Street Hooligans. It is Elijah Wood and the guy that plays Jax from Sons of Anarchy. So it's a movie about their like this kid gets framed for having drugs at Harvard, and then he goes to live with his sister in London, and the sister's husband's brother is like this major fucking like soccer fan. So the soccer fans in England are not like they are here. Like they have actual like fighting gangs and stuff. So you go to a game against like Liverpool, you're getting into fist fights with fucking Liverpool fans. It's not like Mets Yankees where you sit together. Oh yeah, Subway Series, blah blah blah. No, they have the soccer game and then they have brawls. It is one of the greatest movies of all time. Like it is.
I'll have to check that
phenomenal.
one out.
It's available on YouTube. Like you can just watch it on there, but it's not.
It's not on like a real movie provider.
I don't even know if they made a movie poster for it. But the movie is so good. It's so unknown. It's amazing.
That's what I'll watch on my phone in Atlantic City when I'm about to go to sleep.
There you go. There you go. As the Bucks are moving in for the winning touchdown. And then I'm a big Goodfellas guy. Man, I really like the movie a lot about Edward Snowden. You know how he kind of like uncovered all these like deep government conspiracies.
I know the movie you're talking about.
It's an unbelievable movie. And then to kind of see, what we have nowadays. But yeah, those are up there. DK, how about yourself?
Back to the Future.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
I also love how they predicted the Cubs beating the Marlins in that movie.
In the World Series?
Yeah. Or them just winning the World Series. Chicago against Miami.
If
funny.
You had the ability to time travel, where would you go? And then what would you do once you were there?
Obviously, futures bets. Like
I have the same answer.
He'd take the almanac. He'd take the almanac.
But I don't need the almanac. That's what I'm saying. It's like, but I'm saying, where would you go? And then what would you do? Because you got to think about it. You couldn't like go back to like, let's say the 1970s. It was hard to place a sports bet then. You got to figure it out.
Talking about sports betting or just in general?
If I went back in time, I would do the same thing that Al just said. I would become very rich by betting on things that I knew the answers to.
I would also be Jack Bauer in real time. Like I would have stopped 9/11. I would have stopped, planes going. I would have stopped it all. Right. I definitely would have did that. But of course I would make money off the future. Like without a doubt.
There is legal betting stocks.
Ooh, that's a great one.
Oh yeah, you could have played the stock market too.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even think about that.
Oh, this Apple company, that sounds like a good one.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of oranges, so this is similar.
Nuts. All right, Dolphins Patriots. Wait.
How did we get from Dolphins Patriots to where we got to, and then the perfect comeback is oranges, the Dolphins are orange, we're back.
We started with the Dolphins.
So initially I like Dolphins money line, but that's only with Tua. Now that we are, what do you have as a spread right now? Because what I'm waiting for is the line to go to 3 before I take any action.
I've got Patriots -2.5, and you can get +3 on the Dolphins out there as well.
If I can get +3 on the Dolphins, I like that because Teddy covers either 18-4 or 19-4 in his career as an underdog.
Yep.
As a home underdog, I believe. Right, the game's in.
No, just as an underdog in general.
No, I think it says a road underdog. That specific stat. I think it's 19-4, I believe, as a road dog. So if I can get them +3, sure, I'll take it. But I feel like I'm playing for a tie, which
I think the Dolphins win the game.
Wow!
Even with Bridgewater under center there, having Waddle and Hill and at your disposal, and I don't think Mac Jones is that good, and with his receivers there, so I think the Dolphins win the game. They're playing for something. The Patriots are playing for something too, but they need a lot to happen. Dolphins really just need to kind of win out, and they could sneak in there.
Interesting to note, I know that the Dolphins have a new quarterback, or I'm sorry, a new head coach this season, but they have won the last 4 games against the Patriots.
Yeah, but I hate those stats. That whenever Anthony's on and he brings up, he's like, in the last 74 meetings.
My point to this, though, is that I think that the Dolphins are a way better team now, today, than they were in those years previous. So the fact that they were still beating Belichick with a couple of those people on there, I think it bodes well.
Name the quarterbacks who were the quarterbacks. That's literally, who was it?
Chad Pennington.
It's the last 4 years. So who was the quarterback before Tua?
Oh,
I don't know the answer.
Tannehill?
Might have been, yes.
Hey.
Right? Tannehill?
Jay Cutler?
Jay Fiedler?
Love it. Let's keep going. Ray Lucas. Let's just name random Dolphins quarterbacks.
You just went to the Rutgers one on that.
Brian
one.
Greasy.
Good. Like it.
All right, so here we go. Last season, Tua for 12 games, Brissett for 5.
Yeah, it was Brissett.
2020, Fitzpatrick for 7, Tua for 9.
How are we forgetting about Fitz?
Yeah. Oh, here's one for you. Fitzpatrick in 2019, 13 games, Josh Rosen, 3.
Oh, that's gross.
And here's a couple other ones for you. 2018, Tannehill, 11, Brock Osweiler, 5. 2017, Jay Cutler, 14, Matt Moore, 2. Ooh. 2016, Ryan Tannehill, 13, Matt Moore, 3.
That's gross. But anyway, I think we're so wait, so Al, you like New England, me and DK are on the Dolphins, but I'm on them plus we're all in different ways. I like them plus the points. You like Dave likes it money line, and you got it.
If I go Patriots, I'll go -2.5.
Yeah, of course. It's a key number right there.
Absolutely. All right. I'm also interested in this one. Browns at Commanders. We've got 50% of the bets right now on, between the two teams. However, 92% of the money is on the Commanders in this one. And it makes sense. The Browns are eliminated from playoff contention. Commanders still trying to wiggle their way into that final 7 seed there in the NFC. They do hold control of it right now. So if they win out, they're fine. But I also wonder, the Browns this week with no pressure whatsoever, they a good bet here to kind of just get loose with Watson?
I already have a bet on the Browns money line, so I'm down for that. I've been fading Carson Wentz all season. The fact that he is back in as quarterback with the Commanders, I think is a negative for the Commanders. So I'm on Browns money line here. It's one of the 2 underdogs that I've already played money line this week.
Hold on, DK, before we get to you, I just want to I watched plenty of games with Carson Wentz under center. I just don't think that his offensive lines like him very much. It's just so weird the way that the Commanders, they went from being total shit with Carson Wentz at quarterback to going to Tyler Heineke. Now they're going back to Wentz. So I don't like that change into the guard there. Pretty much why I like the Browns in this one. I'll go against my Action Network chart that I love so much with all that money on the Commanders. I'll go against them this week. I don't give a shit. DK, how you feeling?
I think if Watson can finally get his stuff together, with Chubb and Cooper, the Browns should win the game. I agree. I don't think Wentz is that great of a quarterback, and Watson, if he can show some greatness like he had before his suspension, I think they win that game easily.
Also, I know this is like a weird thing, but this is going to come into play. Ohio sports betting launches on New Year's Day.
That's right.
There are going to be so many bets on the Browns that if we like the Browns, wait, because the line will move in their favor. No, the line will move against them.
Against it, yeah. If what you're saying is going to happen.
Yes, there are going to be a ton of bets on the Browns on New Year's Day. So I guess get ahead of it, bet it now. Sorry, I was about to say the wrong thing.
Paul,
but that's just going to happen.
I love how Pauly saves his best insight of the season for week 17. Like, that was gorgeous.
But it's the truth.
I'm just shaking my head here in like disbelief. Like, God damn, that is brilliant.
It's the line is going to move on Sunday, guaranteed. So if you like the Browns, which it seems like we all do, bet it now because it could be a pick 'em by the time we get to Sunday. But we'll see. Like, we could also have reverse line movement. That could happen also. It's just going to be what do the books need. But there's going to be so much money on the Browns just because Ohio sports bettors are 100%. If you lived in Ohio, I mean, the Bengals play Monday night. That's going to be crazy also, where it's the same scenario. I'm waiting to bet on the Bills because I think the line moves.
All right. One last 1 o'clock game that I want to highlight. Panthers at Buccaneers. If you guys have any other, bets that you like, we'll talk about it afterwards. But this is a pretty important game here. Lot of bets, a lot of money on the Panthers this week at +3, going against the Buccaneers. But it's not looking good on the money line either. -150 for the Bucs, +140 there for the Panthers. But I mean, we have seen my Buccaneers struggle so bad here in recent weeks, right? It's been all season. How confident are you in this team right now to bet them at -3?
I'm not. So maybe let's have DK go and tell you what he thinks because I like the Panthers plus the points.
I like the Panthers as well. I think that they are playing very well. But on the other hand, it's Tom Brady, and he can orchestrate, an offense like no quarterback can. So, but I would, be comfortable taking the Panthers to +3.
And it sucks because I'm not a fan, or I'm sorry, I am a fan. But if I wasn't a fan of the Buccaneers, I would still be waiting on that splash moment, right? Because we haven't seen this from the Buccaneers all season. They have been absolutely terrible. Even if they're winning games, they're barely doing it. Just looking at their wins earlier this season, they had 2 wins by. So you had 1 by 16 in week 1 against Dallas. At New Orleans, they won by 10. Since then, they have not won a game by double digits. They have not won a game by more than 6 points, in fact. But each week, it's just looking more and more grim. Obviously, the offensive line play there for Tampa Bay is, it's been decimated by injuries. But the one thing I will say, Carolina runs the football well. And the best, I thought he did like a suplex on Sunday.
I didn't know what happened. I just got scared.
But,
Tampa, did he fall?
I think Tampa Bay will be able to stop the run on Carolina. I'm just betting on them to finally have their breakout moment because they certainly had it. Like I said, with just all those close wins, it's time. Now that everybody's on Carolina, now that they're doubting Tampa Bay, do they save it here for this final stretch run?
I just think it's going to be a 3-point game. So, look, you just said it, where the Bucs can't win by margin. So, if I can get points with Carolina, which is 100% live, I'm going to take that. Yes, I get it. Tom Brady still keeps pulling out these wins and winning at the end of the game. But Steve Wilkes has done an unbelievable job with Carolina. And I feel like if it's +3, or I feel like it could get to +3.5. +3.5, I bet Carolina immediately. At 3, honestly, I feel like we're playing for a tie, which I hate that. But the Bucs, I feel like 2017, something like that is going to happen.
That could happen. Since we have technical difficulties every week, I got to highlight when the users come in with questions. I love it. So Zach Holt, he writes in via YouTube, boys, who you picking to start this week between White? We'll get to who that one is. So it's going to be White, Foreman. I assume Rashad White from the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
White, Foreman, Knight from the Jets, I'm assuming,
Yes.
Pacheco or Haskins for RB2. So I'll give you the names again. Rashad White, Vonta Foreman, Knight from the Jets, Isaiah Pacheco from the Chiefs, and then Haskins. Why am I drawing a blank on Haskins?
He's who's starting for the Titans, I believe.
Oh, shit. Yes. All right.
So here's Zach. Since I'm assuming you're listening live, how many teams are in this league that you can have all 5 of those guys?
Or he just loaded up on backup running back.
He was a big backup running back guy.
I did that in the league, and you just wait for somebody to drop dead and die.
Okay, so first look, like not looking at matchups, just like seeing the names and trying to figure it out. My answer to you is Knight on the Jets.
Ooh. DK, who are you thinking?
The Seahawks rush defense is not good. Loaded up heavy with backups. Love it.
Nice.
Look, I think White's fine, but he's going to split time with Fournette either way. So that's a 50-50 split. Foreman, Al, you can talk about the Bucs rush defense. Since Vita Vea is back, they're tough to run on. Plus, Chuba Hubbard is also splitting there.
Yep.
Pacheco, I don't trust. Me and you are on the McKinnon bandwagon. We love that. I ain't playing this random schmo on Thursday night, so my answer is Xavier Knight.
All right. DK, who do you like here?
Chiefs running back. I think Kansas City is going to be up on the Broncos. Even with McKinnon in the backfield as well, I think they're going to be running a lot and enough carries to go around for everybody.
Damn it, DK, you stole my thunder. Yes, I am probably the biggest Jerick McKinnon supporter of the 2022 season. However, I think Pacheco gets a nice game here. They're going against the Broncos, right? Like, I think the one thing that you can say as a positive is that the Broncos fired their head coach. So maybe they get some of these crazy trick plays going, makes the offense be a little more, involved. Kansas City still vying for that number 1 spot because don't forget, the Bills are at Cincinnati on Monday night. So there's a very real possibility that Cincinnati beats Buffalo, and then Kansas City's schedule is cake the rest of the season, especially now that Jared Stidham is going to be the quarterback for the final 2 games for the Raiders. The Chiefs have the Raiders and the Broncos here in these final 2 weeks. So I like Pacheco here. And they've kind of jerked him around with the end zone carries here a little bit. They've been going with McKinnon. But I feel like this is a game where, Pacheco could definitely steal some touchdowns here for sure. And again, you got to go with the Jersey guy, right? Always go with the Jersey guy.
Is he a Jersey guy or he just went to Rutgers?
Well, he went to Rutgers, but that's Jersey. Paul, stop it. Stop it right now.
Am I a Boston guy? No, I'm a New Yorker who happened to go to school in Boston.
You're a Boston guy.
I'm a Boston guy now?
You are, yeah.
Okay, if you say so. Pakya Khan, Harvard Yard.
That's right. Apples. How about that?
Apples?
From Good Will Hunting.
Oh my God, that went right over my head.
By the way, another top 5 movie. Love Good Will Hunting.
That's probably in my top 10. Also, okay, so you bring up Good Will Hunting. My number 6 movie, because I know it's cusp because I could live without it.
Now we're getting into 6s.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh God.
I love Robin Williams.
I hate Pierce Brosnan. I think.
What is your favorite Robin Williams vehicle?
Well, I'm a big James Bond guy, so I don't.
What does that have to do with Robin Williams? Because Pierce Brosnan was in.
That's right. I'm going 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon. You son of a bitch.
Did you guys have a favorite Robin Williams movie?
He was great in Patch Adams.
Patch Adams is a good one. Jumanji, very good.
I don't know. I mean, Robin Williams is fine. I'm just not the biggest fan. Like, people love him. I don't.
How are you not a Robin Williams fan? I mean, come on. Have you ever watched his stand-up? His stand-up is absolutely amazing.
He's a little too weird for me, which is saying a lot.
I think the older crowd would say Good Morning Vietnam was a good movie, but
that's not bad. That's not bad.
I'm trying to think of other movies where I was like, he was amazing in it. Oh, Dead Poet Society.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie. I don't know. I just not a big Robin Williams guy.
Hello.
With the meringue pie.
Yeah. Mrs.
Goodness.
Hillard, I one cup of two, and it drips off and it drips in off his face into her tea. Oh my god.
Off his nose.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts for the 1 o'clock games? There's a couple that we didn't get to, but we're running.
I'll run through real fast. Ready? Lions, Bears. Lions win. I don't know if they cover. Eagles, Saints. I like the Eagles. I trust Minshew to cover. But you said the line is now 5 from 7?
We're seeing 5.5 is the best. However, you're seeing a lot of money on the Saints compared to the bets for Philly. So
like it even more. I trust Minshew. I think they're going to win this game. Chiefs, Denver. Chiefs are going to blow them out. Who knows if they win by 2 touchdowns or not. The Chiefs are just a weird team. They let bad teams stay in games, so I wouldn't be that surprised if the Chiefs end up winning like 20-10 and don't cover. And then the Cardinals versus Atlanta is the toilet bowl of the week. I have no opinion on it because it's just a horrible game.
All right, fair enough. DK, any of those?
No, what Paul said.
Thank you for speaking, because at first you just shook your head. This is a vocal vehicle.
Yeah, the only
Zach, thank you for the question too. If you got any other questions, fantasy, life, movies, whatever, we're here for you.
Yeah, tell your friends, tell your single lady friends, tell them all. I'll be here. All right. I do like the Saints over the Eagles. I would like to get that to +7. But listen, Saints, they showed that they could go to Cleveland and win outright, even getting down 10-0 last week. That was a pretty impressive win in that type of environment. So I like the Saints to do it again this week.
Quick thing about the Saints before we move on to 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Is there any way that Sean Payton goes back to the Saints?
No.
And takes Lamar Jackson with him?
Oh, man. That's something.
Because that's the fit.
Didn't the Saints kind of like run him out of town, basically, or no?
No, he retired. He chose Dennis Allen to take over. But Dennis Allen also has some sort of history with Lamar. I forget what it is. Could you imagine Lamar with the Saints? With Kamara and Olave? Michael Thomas would come back just to play with Lamar.
Was he going to play 3 games this year instead of 2?
Yeah. I think, look, Mike Evans, comeback player of the year next year. Bet it. Let's go, guys.
So I don't like that as a Buccaneers fan. That would give me anxiety for a couple days, but
also, I don't think that's going to happen. Sean Payton is going to go somewhere and start fresh. The question is where. Like, look, all the rumors are the Broncos, but if
the
he
Chargers,
does that, the Chargers made the playoffs. They're not going to fire Staley.
To get
Cardinals,
to get Payton though.
Cardinals is doable, but then Kyler's the quarterback. He just signed a huge deal.
They got so much money tied up in him.
But also Sean Payton with Kyler. I love that.
Yeah, that a couple of weeks ago, they were on the national TV game. Oh yeah, against the Buccaneers, and they were talking about it like, this is probably a roster that you have to strip down. Watt just announced his retirement. You got a guy like DeAndre Hopkins. You could probably get a lot for him. Murray, I don't think you're going to move him, but you try to make it work.
I mean, why would they move their receivers? They got a great receiver core. They got.
That's what I'm saying.
I have the answer. I figured it out. Sean Payton is going to end up in Las Vegas. They're going to fire Josh McDaniels. Carr's gone anyway. He picks his quarterback. Devontae Adams stays, and they're a good team.
Would Devontae Adams like playing with Lamar Jackson, though?
Why? Who wouldn't? But Josh Jacobs is leaving. If you heard his post-game interview after the last game, it was just like chastising the organization. So Josh Jacobs is going to be somewhere else. I do wonder where.
And it's crazy because Josh Jacobs having like the best year of his career.
Agreed. He is, and he's going to get a very nice contract. The question is where. I just don't think it'll be in Vegas.
Interesting. All right.
Speaking of that, that's a 4 o'clock game. We can just hop into that one.
Absolutely. Niners at the Raiders. Niners, geez, we got a huge differential here. I'm seeing -6 for the Niners. I'm even seeing +10 for the Raiders. out there on the board, so take that however you will.
It's not at 6. So 6 was the opener. Once Carr got bent / we're tanking, now it's at 10.
All right, fair enough. With such a huge spread like that, what are you thinking?
Niners by 1 million.
Ooh.
The defense will win the game. With Stidham at quarterback, my favorite prop bet of the game, 49ers defensive touchdown. You'll get really nice odds on it. I love it. Brock Purdy, just as long as he doesn't turn the ball over, Niners win and cover.
DK?
Also prop bet over a half interception for the Raiders quarterback.
I don't know. I feel like it's going to be 1.5 because it's going to be that bad.
I mean, he's definitely throwing one, so that's the. Otherwise, I'm not touching the game. You really don't know. The 49ers defense should hold them. They've been one of the top defenses all season. So if I had to pick a team, I'd say the 49ers -10.
Al, you might be able to get this because you have a real sports book. Bosa needs 2.5 sacks to reach some threshold.
Okay.
I would bet that could totally happen this week. If you can get over 2.5 sacks on Bosa, that's just a fun prop. If you can find it, you'll get really good odds too.
I'm gonna take a look here. Take a little look-see.
But also with a team that's given up and Jarrett Stidham, who is not good. DK, the jersey card that I gave your kids is a Jarrett Stidham. So tell them if they're watching the game that they have a card from him.
Okay. Is it going to be worth more than 2 cents?
Still no, but that's why I gave it to your kids.
Damn it, Paul.
What? They wanted a card. 2 of them got Stidham, and the other got the old running back on the Lions before Swift. I don't even remember his name.
Amir Abdullah?
Nope. Keep naming Lions running backs.
I can't.
The guy who we thought was going to be good and then wasn't.
I can't do this.
I can see him, but it was before they signed. Obviously, Jamal Williams was this season.
Theo Riddick?
No, he was a top pick. I had his rookie card, and I was like, "Oh, cool." And now I'm like, "No, he's not in the league anymore." I'll look it up and I'll figure it out.
All right, fair. All right. Other one, Jets at Seahawks. Jets need this one. They are favored by 1.5. Listen, the Seahawks have sucked the last few weeks. However, they have run into a bit of a buzzsaw on their schedule. DK, what do you think about the Seahawks here? Can they get it turned around against the Jets?
Seahawks all the way. You got New York traveling across the country. It's very hard to play in Seattle. And the Jets aren't, Mike White is back, and maybe, he could pull out some magic, but I still think the Seahawks win the game.
I am leaning with you here. I just feel like everybody, if you get Mike White back, I think everybody's going to be on the Jets. I love to go the other way. This is why I went against Messi in Argentina in the World Cup. I didn't win, but I hate narratives. I think they're stupid. Paul, you?
This is one of this is the other underdog that I've already placed a bet on. I really like Seattle. I'm rooting for Geno Smith in a Geno Smith revenge game against the Jets, who are traveling across the country. I get it that, Mike White can functionally run the offense, but the Seattle's still playing for something. I get that the Jets are as well. I just don't – I think the line is wrong. I don't understand how you're going to give Seattle points, so maybe I should take them plus the points, but I've already taken them money line.
It's not necessarily the most dire of situations for the Jets, because if all the teams in the AFC playoff picture lose in week 17, I think the Jets are still going to have a pretty good shot to make the playoffs. Obviously, Patriots, the Patriots one can't work, but if things shape up, that we could have a week 18 matchup where it's Jets, Dolphins, looking to get that last playoff spot because the Jets won the first matchup there against Miami. So interesting scenario. Obviously both teams are going to be gunning for it because their playoff lives are still on the line. But I just think in a way, Mike White, he's still not fully healthy. He's got super fragile ribs right now, right? So if he takes that first shot, it could be game over. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Zach Wilson is already healthy and active for Sunday's game.
Joe Flacco will be the backup.
Yeah, he's not going to play in a Jets uniform again. So
yeah, so just absolute disaster going on. Anarchy within the Jets when it looked so good in the beginning of the season. Paul, I saw you snickering and doodling. What do you got there?
The Lions running back, Kerryon Johnson.
Oh, God.
No one, we would have never gotten that.
Never.
The key search was Lions running back draft picks. That's how I found it.
That'll do it.
Well, there's 2 more 4:00 games. Do you want to talk about the one no one cares about or the one that we know DK Money loves?
Well, let's talk about the one that we don't care about, and then we'll give the other. Well, no, that was not a shot at DK. That was, let's get that one out of the way, and then we'll showcase that other one. That's how I was looking at it. All right, so the Battle of Los Angeles, which is the one I'm sure we wanted to allude over, but 6.5-point favorites are the Chargers. Bets are about 50-50. However, seeing about all the money, 99% of it, in fact, on the Rams at plus 6.5. Of course, they had that monumental win against Denver there on Christmas Day. So that was the last thing that everybody saw. Not a high total in this one either. We're looking at about 40.5. I don't really have a side here. What do you guys like?
Rams plus the points for me.
Is it the Baker Mayfield factor?
No, the Chargers are in the playoffs, and not really sure if they can move up or down much. So I think they're going to be sitting back a little bit, and I think the Rams plus the points is the play. If the Chargers win, I think it's within 6.
And by the way, you are correct. Chargers have a game lead right now on the Dolphins there with the 6 and 7 seeds. And don't forget, the Chargers won head-to-head outright against the Dolphins just a couple weeks ago there on Sunday Night Football. So they do hold that advantage. The Chargers could potentially move up to the 5 seed and play Jacksonville. Other than that, it would be a matchup against Cincinnati there, 3-6. With the Chargers and the Bengals, so maybe they want to avoid that. But I mean, I don't have any strong opinions on this one. I'll leave it for Paul here.
My only thought, it's one of those weird games. This is a game that I'll tease the Chargers, where it's just a pick 'em.
All right, that was the game we didn't give a fuck about. Now to the one that we do give a fuck about. The Vikings at the Packers. This one, very interesting. You got the Packers as 3.5-point favorites out there, depending on what book you're betting on. Packers minus 175 on the money line. Vikings plus 160 here in this one. I think, when I look at this game, it feels like, the Packers have all the momentum right now. Vikings still one of those teams that, they're not winning their games by a huge margin. I know that we talked about it with Tampa. I'm probably going to go with Green Bay, but I would like to bring it down to 2.5 if I'm going to do so. And I don't mind paying up a little bit of money. I've done it plenty of times before. But DK, tell us why you're against me.
Yeah, pick of the week here. We got the Vikings plus 3.5. They're still going for the number 1 seed. As Paul alluded to earlier, you got Justin Jefferson trying to get the most receiving yards, and they're playing the Packers, who are their rival, and will love to make sure that they do not make the playoffs. As any rival teams know, they like to put heart on their other potential rival teams, and I think that's the number 1 reason why I like the Vikings plus 3.5. Just for that reason alone, is that they would love to make sure that the Packers and the Packers fans are in misery the rest of the season.
That is strong. That's strong. Vikings have won 3 of the last 4 against the Packers too, by the way. Paul, what do you
also piggybacking off of you, Al? Can you name the quarterback of the Vikings in the one game during that run that the Packers have won? It was not Kirk Cousins.
Kellen Mond.
Sean Mannion. So it's like Cousins kind of might be the kryptonite of Aaron Rodgers, but I do have Packers to win the NFC at 45-1. So I'm just rooting for the Packers to win. Look, if Packers win by 3, we're all right. So let's do that. Packers win by 3.
Yeah, I could definitely do that. But no, listen, I think that you might be correct with Kirk Cousins against the Vikings here.
Which makes against the Vikings. He's on the Vikings.
Against the Packers.
This is a great hedge bet for you, Paul. Take Vikings plus 3.5.
No.
Okay.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
All right, that's it.
Fine. I guess I could, but I don't. Am I really going to start hedging in week 17?
Why not? A few bucks, not a lot.
Hey, I wanted to. It's not a sports story, but I wanted to throw this by you guys. 1 sec here.
Boston Market.
So Hooters is shutting down and quote unquote rebranding.
I saw this.
After a new study shows that millennials aren't into boobs.
It's crazy.
Okay, so I'm sorry to shut this down for you guys.
Is it a fake news?
The study was from 2018.
Okay, but still.
They never shut down. They never rebranded. Someone just made it go viral today. So good for whoever did that.
That's
Great
not
job.
New news. That's not nothing new.
The study occurred in 2018.
Got it.
Did they change anything?
Well, are they changing something now? Is what I think is going on.
Oh yeah, they're definitely throwing a little more portly women out there at your local Hooters.
They're gonna change the name to Cheeks.
I went there once a year, and I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go 0 times a year now.
No, I mean, look, the sports bar that DK and I often go to is in the same town as the only Hooters that's near us, and we don't go to Hooters because the food is so horrible. The view is probably much nicer.
So you're not a breaded wing kind of guy?
Those wings are, dude, I've found feathers when I've eaten. Like, the cheeseburgers are disgusting. Like, I feel like the only thing is like the fried pickles, but like fried anything is good.
I love fried pickles. They're so good. Give me a little Thousand Island dressing with that. Ooh,
right.
Baby.
But like, I'm not going to Hooters to eat fried pickles.
Yeah. I mean, we know what we go there for, but.
For the great service.
And again, too, so there is no Hooters anywhere near Bayonne. So it's not like we're running into girls that we went to high school with. Yeah. I don't know how it is for you guys, but.
No.
Yeah.
I don't. It wouldn't be like that.
You're running into girls that weren't even born when we were in high school.
That's true. that is 100%
Yo,
true.
Paul, remember the time we went to Hooters in the city right by the office?
Yep.
Yeah, I still follow that girl on Instagram.
You can tell the story because it's only funny for us.
I don't know that there was much of a story. She just.
But how did you start? Like, you started following her on Instagram because she just told you to. She essentially didn't she like take your phone and follow herself on your phone?
I think she did because at that point she was trying to get into a different line of work, and it appears that she's there now. She's made it.
What?
She's probably not a Hooters girl anymore.
You can update me on this after the show, but I'm fascinated.
It's a tough one too because it's like I don't even remember her name, but when I see her come across, I'm like, oh, that's the girl that we met at Hooters the one time.
She was trying to become like an influencer, right?
Or like a model sort of thing.
Well, that's an influencer. Yeah, I'm an Instagram model also. I mean, come on. Look at me. Look at me, guys.
I don't know. I mean, if they hired you, then Jesus Christ, they could have did a lot better.
Look, speaking of getting hired, Abercrombie and Fitch didn't hire me because I wasn't good looking enough in high school.
I can see that.
One of my best friends worked there, tried to get me a job, and they were like, "No."
What? Like the Long Beach
I
Mall?
wasn't muscly enough.
Did you see the documentary on that?
Of course.
Okay.
And I was like, it all makes sense now.
Yeah.
I love that Pauly was on a dating show one time.
This happened. It happened real quick, and then it ended.
They say, we can't have this guy out here anymore. Come on. I'm sure you were a perfect gentleman.
Yeah, hell yeah. And I won the ping pong tournament on the show.
Of course you did, because those other saps, they didn't know what the hell they were doing.
It's true.
All right, 2 more games left. Steelers at Ravens, Sunday Night Football. Ravens favored by 2.5 points in this one at home. They're against the Steelers. Money line not looking so positive for the Ravens, though. Minus 140 for them, plus 145 for the Steelers. Man, is the Kenny Pickett band coming into Baltimore and ruining the whole party, DK?
Yeah, no, Ravens all the way.
Ooh, interesting.
Boo.
Ravens all the way. I honestly, I don't think Pickett's that great of a quarterback. The fact that you haven't gotten Deontay Johnson a touchdown this whole season is crazy.
Is that sour grapes in fantasy, or
I had him, but
It might be. It could be. It is.
it's gone? See ya.
That's why what I'm saying is it takes even more importance, because I'm watching him the whole season and just watching the small amount of numbers he's putting up and everything. And yeah, the Steelers defense is good. It also depends if Lamar Jackson is back as well. But even with the backup quarterback, I still like the Ravens here.
Pauly?
So I'm waiting on the status of Lamar before I do anything, but I have a strong lean to the Steelers. I like the Steelers plus the points. I like the Steelers to potentially win the game. If it's Huntley, Steelers all the way. If it's Lamar, my guess is the number gets to like 3.5 or 4, and then I'll just take the Steelers plus the points.
So either way, I'll take the Ravens, you take the Steelers, loser shaves their head.
No, but I'll bet you dinner or something.
Come on. No, we got to make it exciting.
I won't shave my head.
And we do it on air so they can come back next week and see.
Oh, speaking of that, so the Take a Side challenge last year, Al lost and was supposed to paint his beard some color. Wasn't that what the bet was? And he never did.
Yeah.
No.
I got appearances to hold up around here.
It would have been what I wanted you to do is just the goatee, make it. I wanted you to bleach it so you'd look like Hulk Hogan. That would just be so funny.
It's funny because if I did that, it would have been right around the time that I was interviewing with Caesars.
That would have been the best thing ever.
But the thing is that they're all sick bastards. I think they would have I probably would have been VP by now if I did that.
Just the mustache, but all the way down. Like I want you to go, so it's just blonde like this.
Yeah, I think they would have loved it. Like by far the coolest company I've ever worked for. But I feel like because you have to be a little like out there with your creativeness, So if I just showed up to the first interview, they'd have been like, "Look at this guy! Look at this." They would
be like, "So what are your thoughts on Ric Flair
or Hulk Hogan?"
DK, I'm down for a bet, but I'm not going to shave my head. Also, I'm going to win, and you wouldn't shave your head either.
Yeah, I would. I shave my head every 3 months.
No, you don't.
Do you really?
You know I do.
You don't actually shave your head.
Yes, I do.
My hair just falls out.
You don't do it like Al.
No, I don't do it like that.
Well, I take the one blade and I just go to town.
What do you want to bet?
That was it.
Dinner, hotel rooms, gambling.
We could do like a lunch or a dinner. I'm serious. We'll figure out the terms. But this is an epic take aside between a host and a guest.
Paul, bet him Boston Market right now.
Yes. Boston Market.
We don't do Boston Market.
We will.
Oh, okay.
Boston Market at the mall. Loser pays. Deal.
He's gonna try to lose this bet on purpose. All right.
I love Boston Market. Dave, you know this.
I'm just throwing the last game out there on the board. I'm throwing it out there, and then wherever the conversation goes, it goes until the end of the podcast. Bills at Bengals. Bills 1.5 point favorites. We got a 49.5 point total here. Money line looking right around dead even. So I like the Bengals in this one. I think they're gonna come up. They're just that team that feels like it right now. So I'm going Cincy. How about you guys?
If the Bills have something to play for, I like the Bills here. It really depends what happens on Sunday to see how they're going to play it out. But if they're both playing,
Bills are playing for the 1 seed.
Yeah,
but isn't there?
But Kansas City has 2 easy games, so
yeah. But if Kansas City loses, then they're not. They're
right. We'll
So we have
know.
Ohio
We'll know
sports betting.
before time.
We have Ohio sports betting, which will affect this line at some point. I'm teasing this game. At this point, I have the Bengals +8 is the way I've teased it so far. I could also come back the other way if the line moves a bit. I think the Bills win the game, but I don't think that they win by more than a touchdown.
You know my favorite part of the Bengals? Commissioner Yaz. You know who this chick
From the
is?
game day.
Oh, smoking hot.
My favorite part of the Bengals is Kay Adams. Come on.
I go
I'll
Yaz.
take Kay over Yaz every day of the week.
I go Yaz overall.
No.
Yeah.
David tiebreaker. He doesn't know who either of them are.
Yeah, but she tailgates. She gets down. It's a good check.
Yaz.
There you go. See? Because he hates you, Paul.
Boston
Fuck
market.
Now you get an extra gravy, DK.
I think that's perfect. I can't wait for you to buy me the dark 3-piece.
I don't like Boston market, so that's not the bet.
Fine. If I win, you buy me Boston market.
Okay.
DK, what's your favorite retail food place?
Italian.
This is how we close the show. This is very important.
No,
Italian.
that's not retail. That
Italian
means
is not an answer.
That means like Olive Garden. I mean like Chick-fil-A, McDonald's,
that's what he means.
Brand name restaurant.
Chick-fil-A.
Beautiful. See,
Chick-fil-A.
I knew me and DK were meant to be.
So Paul, I'll buy you Boston market. You buy me El Porel.
That is not even.
You pick Boston market.
I don't know what the fuck.
You could have Chick-fil-A Boston market deal.
Sure.
Yeah, that works.
And I'm gonna win and make you eat
Boston market.
Even though you don't like it.
Boston market's like double the price though.
No way. You're nuts.
Maybe around Christmas.
Five Guys, because that's like an $80 burger.
I love Five Guys.
That's even more than Boston market.
Fast food burger.
Oh my god, the double bacon cheeseburger. What?
Yes, exactly.
And the Cajun fries.
The fries in general, just make sure you get the smallest one possible because your bag will be filled either way.
I think I try not to eat a lot of fast food, but I think if I ever do again, I'm gonna say, do not put the fries in that shitty carton that you have. Just throw them right in the bag like Five Guys.
Yeah, I like it.
I had Five Guys for the first time last week. It was okay, but I like the peanuts they had in the back.
They do have. You know what I like about Five Guys too? You can put A1 sauce on your burger.
Five Guys has unlimited toppings. Dave, I
love that.
I told you the trick at Five Guys, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you just brought up the double burger out.
Yeah.
So unlimited toppings. What can count as a topping at Five Guys? Fun fact is a bun, and it's free. So you get the double, you turn it into a single, and you share it with two people.
Wow. That's a Shapiro move right there.
I guess. Who's Shapiro?
That's his first dates. That's what he does.
Yep, that's what I do. We go to Five Guys. Actually, we go to Five Guys. We just eat the peanuts and then we leave.
You can.
They also have like a very innovative drink system where you can do like orange, strawberry, pineapple Sprite if you want to. But I love me some Five Guys.
All right, fellas. So DK Money, thank you for coming on.
I appreciate the invite, guys. I had a blast.
Yeah, man. It was so good to have you. Thanks for all your picks. Can't wait for the free Boston market. Al, I'll see you next week. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, do you guys have big plans there for New Year's?
David already told you he's going down a mountain.
Yeah. Yep.
I forgot.
You're staying home with George.
Hold on, that was an hour and 30 minutes ago. So you
can't
expect me. You can't expect me to remember that. Yeah,
it's true.
Listen, this is my second one. All right, this is what I do. I bring like a backup thing. This is George on the cup. So I bring a backup if I have to pour one in. So that's how that goes. All right, we're done for the evening. Me, Paul, DK, and the rest of the internet. We are gone. We'll see you in 2023, folks. Peace.